Right now, it's like 3 in the morning, and I'm doing laundry, and I had to split up 2 loads, so it's just like taking forever. And also Fonz is back there. He's sleeping. He's passed out. I don't know. It's just a cozy vibe, and I just kind of like, I don't know, ran out of stuff to do. So why not just like hang out and like make content? I don't know, like talk to you guys. So this might become a series. I don't know. Just like whenever I feel like it. I want to tell you a story. Tell you a story about how I got into the horror genre and how I got into horror movies and therefore, games and, obviously making, this possible today. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it, I guess. So when I was like really, really young, I had to be like a toddler. I don't think because I don't think I was in school yet. I don't think I was in school yet. There's so many different channels that when Halloween rolls around, Halloween ends up playing. So many different TV channels ended up playing like the whole Halloween series, like with Michael Myers, like the Halloween movies. So I think AMC does it like every single year. I don't know if that's the channel that was doing it, because it's just kind of like this weird, like, not kind of vivid but not really sort of memory I have from being really, really young. The first like bit of any horror content I ever saw was this part of Halloween 5. I remember walking into my family room and Halloween 5 was on, and it's the scene where the 2 teenagers have gone off to go horizontal polka inside of the barn. And Myers, with his really long weirdo mask, like goes out, obviously stalks them with a scythe, finds them, sticks a pitchfork inside the guy's back, and takes the scythe and cuts the lady off screen. And I'm just like, I'm like a kid, right? Like I'm like a little kid. I'm like, like I'm seeing people being murdered on live television. I don't know the difference between like fake and reality. Like I still thought the Power Rangers were out there beating people up like in real life somewhere. Like I didn't understand the difference between like show fake, show real, So I was just like, oh my God, this guy in a white mask he's just killing people. He's just murderizing people. Yeah, he's killing people. He's like, Dad, you're being too loud. I'm trying to sleep. But yeah, he's just like killing people. I was like freaking out. And then I had a phobia of Myers for like the longest time because of that. Like as a little kid, there was this guy in our neighborhood who would dress up as Myers and just like stand still and do that little trick where you pretend to be a part of the Halloween decorations, and he would like move all of a sudden if you got too close or got around him. That tied with like that scarring memory I have of like seeing Halloween 5 for the first time. I hated that. I feared going out to trick or treat sometimes. So I'm like, is that guy there this year? Is that guy in the Michael Myers mask like ready to come get me? Because like once again, I'm like, I don't necessarily think that anything about that is fake. I'm just like, oh, he might come get me. So for that reason, I like took like zero interest in anything horror related. Obviously, because I grew up in a Christian household, so like they tried to keep me away from that stuff until I was older. But also I never sought it out on my own ever as well, because I was like, oh my God, that traumatized me. That was scary. That was spooky stuff. But when I was a preteen, I would say like 11 or 12. I don't even know what like brought this on. My dad has this like huge movie shelf, and it's like nailed to the wall. He's got like a bookshelf that's literally like huge, and it has like movies upon movies upon movies upon movies. It's like all the seasons of X-Files, all the seasons of this, and then he's got movies upon movies upon movies over there. I don't even know how it came about, but he's just like we're gonna watch Aliens versus Predator. Not a very good movie. Not a very good movie when you watch it back. But he was like, you want to watch Aliens versus Predator? And I'm like, oh sure. Like I didn't really know what it was about really. But I saw it and I was just like, obviously the chest burster thing freaked me out a lot. Like I was like, oh my God, that like I felt like I'm one of those people that can't watch surgery shows because I start like feeling it. Like I start feeling weird in the place where they're operating. So like that was uncomfortable for me to watch, like a little chest burster come down somebody's chest. But like, I don't know. Like, imagine this through the eyes of like 11 or 12-year-old. I know that we watch that movie now and we're like, that movie's terrible. I mean, it's god awful. But like, there's this alien thing, and he's got this grid pattern on his head, and then there's this big predator guy running down and hunting him down and like beating him up, and now the predator's teaming up with the humans to beat the aliens, and oh my god, there's a huge alien. Like it was cool though, a 12-year-old. Like little me was like, oh, well, this stuff's so cool. This is so great. Like I was like into it. And after that, you know, because I was so into it, we ended up getting the entire collection. So there was like this little box in, I remember, because it had like the whatchamacallit, it had like the box set of the DVD looked like it was part of the hieroglyphs that were in the first Alien versus Predator movie. So there was the whole movie collection. It was every Predator movie, every Alien movie, every Alien versus Predator movie. And I just speed ran those. Like, I speed ran those in my room, which then, you know, got my brother obsessed with it as well. My brother liked Alien more than I did, and that's like still one of my favorite like franchises. I love that franchise so much. And I speed ran those. I watched all of them, and I was downright obsessed. And that, luckily, that was around the time that the 2009 AVP game came out. So we would play that nonstop. We put so many hours in that game, into the story, into the multiplayer. Man, that we got downright obsessed with those movies. But then I started to, you know, branch out. I started to, like, while I was on my own, I'll be like, maybe I should revisit those Halloween movies, you know, because like I have a much better tolerance now because, you know, obviously I'm an adult. Well, I'm not an adult, but I was like a teen. I thought I was an adult when I was a kid. I was a teen, and I was like, oh, well, I've seen all these Aliens versus Predator movies. Like, maybe I can handle Halloween. And I watched Halloween, and it ended up being like one of my favorite movies of all time. To this day, it remains one of my favorite movies of all time. Very, very great, amazing movie. So I ran through all those. And then I ran through Nightmare on Elm Street. And I love Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street was my close second for a really, really, really long time. And oddly, I didn't get into Friday the 13th until like a couple of years ago. Yeah, like a couple of years ago. I don't know. Like all my friends growing up, like their parents didn't care. Their parents didn't give a hoot. They don't watch whatever. So all my friends already knew about all this, and I remember them telling stories about Jason's so cool. Jason punched this guy's head straight off, and it's like Jason sounded like the coolest thing ever. And then I watched like Friday the 13th Part 1, and I thought it was boring. Like I thought that movie was boring, and it wasn't even just because Jason wasn't in it. Like it was just like it was so tame, and like there wasn't barely any tension, and it just felt like a very, very bad, awful ripoff of Halloween, which is what it was. That was what they were going out to make. But I just like didn't get it. It was just kind of a bad movie, right? So I just like never got into Friday the 13th because I watched the first one and I was like, oh, well, you know, this kind of sucks. Now, you know, now that I'm an adult, I get that like that's the point. Especially like Part 6 and stuff. Like those movies are good bad. Like some movies are just bad, and then there's some movies that are good bad. And I definitely think that that Friday the 13th is good bad. Like it's a turn your brain off and just enjoy the bare bones of the genre, sort of like entertainment. And when the movies start playing to that instead of trying to do anything else, like it's great. Tommy Jarvis, you know, trilogies, like generally fun movies to watch, just fun. But yeah, that's kind of like how I ended up really getting into horror and getting into horror movies. Was just kind of like that really pivotal scary moment when I was like a toddler and I'd seen Halloween 5, which, you know, now I go back and watch that movie, it's pretty bad and not that scary at all. And then my dad introducing me to AVP, which landslided into my love for Alien, my love for Predator. And then I, through my own exploration, found like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, everything else. That ended up like kind of defining like my interest in like who I am as a person, which is really, really cool. Because like the reason I started playing Dead by Daylight was because of Michael Myers, because I was like, wait, that's like a guy from my favorite movie, or one of my favorite movies. So like that's, without that we wouldn't be here, we wouldn't have this channel, we wouldn't be talking. And it's just like, that's crazy. Something that happened to me when I was like not even in elementary school yet, like brought us to this point. Isn't that just a weird perspective, you know? It's just fun. It's cool. I'm still trying to catch up on a lot of horror stuff. I have seen Candyman. I love Candyman. I've only seen the first Saw and part of Saw 2. And everything else is just like people showing me clips from different Saw movies. I've seen Final Destination 1. I didn't really care for it. So I didn't watch the other ones. But yeah, I'm like, there's a lot I still have to watch. Of course, I've seen Scream. I have seen Scream. I was actually going to end this video, and then I was like, wait, they're going to ask if I've seen Scream, probably. I have seen Scream. Scream 1, obviously, amazing, great, fantastic film. Scream 2, it's okay. 3 is kind of bad. And then 4, I have not seen, actually. I still need to see that. I watched the Dead Meat on it, the Dead Meat kill count on it, but I have not seen that film. And I watched Scream 5, and Scream 5 is just kind of like, I don't know, it's like a nostalgia trip, and I feel like that's not a good movie, but it's fun if you like Scream, which I do. So I got fun. It was fun, but it's not a good movie, you know. So yeah, now we are in 2022. Yeah, Halloween's probably still my favorite horror movie. Halloween 2018 is close though. I feel like Halloween, like Halloween, and then Halloween 2018 are kind of like hand in hand. I feel like they complement each other really well. So those are kind of my 2 favorite horror movies. So good job, Mukul. Good job. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed me kind of just like, you know, not really ranting, but just kind of telling you a story about like, you know, me and my life and how I got into things. A little bit more chill, not any sort of like stakes or anything like, oh, time to argue about DVD perks or something like that. You know, it's just something to put on while you're like washing your dishes or, you know, doing other chores, that sort of thing. Something you can just vibe and relax with while we're just while you have some downtime. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Let me know if you like this. Like I really want to do, like usually I'm like, comment below this, and that's kind of like YouTuber like etiquette, but like I really do want to know this time, like, is this something that you like? Because I can do more of these. This is kind of just like a spur of the moment thing, but if you like more of these, I can definitely do a lot more of these. This is really cozy, especially with Fawn just like passed out back there. Very, very cute, very, very wholesome, very, very peak vibes. So yeah, let me know if you like this and I can make more of them. But other than that, I don't think I have anything else. I'm gonna go switch out the laundry now. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, friends, and if I don't see you in the next video, I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.